Don't blink, you should blink. It's a bit dark, isn't it? It is a bit dark. It is a bit dark. It is a bit perfect dark. Great game on the N64. Don't blink, you should blink. Welcome to our show. Because I'm doing well, because I'm having a wonderful day on this 29 July 2025. Today we're going to be doing episode number 2, possibly episode number 3 of the show Lost. Season 1. Oh shit. I got a mosquito bite. Today, I am excited because the episode that we did was one of my favorite videos that we did this week. So, actually kind of cool. What else? That's pretty much it, to be honest. We are at season 2, episode 10 or 11 of Lost. So this is kind of humongous. So without further ado, we gotta mix our water. Great. Why are we drinking from a glass bottle? I think it's healthier than a normal bottle, but hey, I'm not sure, so don't expect me to have the end-all be-all knowledge. Let's open this bad boy up. Oh, you're updating, that's nice. No, you're not. I'm joking. My son, one. We are watching Echo Backstory. Yeah. Chapter 2, Season 10. It's going insane. Insane in the membrane. So, episode 10 about halfway in, which is pretty good. We're gonna go with Season 1. Right? Episode, pilot number 2. So, you guys remember we just got the pilot? Oh, for fuck's sakes. I didn't correctly film it. You guys, if you guys remember, we just got the airplane driver. It's a pilot, but the episode is also a pilot. So there you go. So we got the backstory of Charlie. Now the craziest thing that's going on here is, technically speaking, this is the first backstory that we have. This is the entirely first. Oh, this one is a bit slower, a bit shorter. So we know that last week we had Jack. However, last week we only had a couple of minutes of Jack, and we didn't really get the past of Jack. So technically speaking, okay, what brings people to the island is a airplane ride, right? So as soon as you board the board the plane, you're starting to be in the present, and then the car crash, your plane ride never really finished, so you're still in the plane ride. Now with this, we got started the same way. Now the coolest thing is the way these flashback works. So in Lost, the flashback works in a way where you would think it's chronologically, but it's not. So for example, we got Hugo, and Hugo wants some money, and then we see how unlucky the people in his family are, and then he starts thinking that his life is cursed. And then you got a second flashback where my boy is literally winning the money. So there's not always. Now, it's complex because of why they did it. They could have done it because they didn't know how popular the show was gonna be. So the season 1, they're gonna this is fucking smart. This is fucking smart, but not smart. So if season 1 is a failure, then you kind of only show what was relevant in the past to it. So for example, Charlie season 2 is a fucking junkie, and we know how he got into heroin, right? We know how he got into it. And why is that important? Well, it is important, and it's not important. It is important in a sense of there's importance in a sense of you're filling up. It's filler. So the past, for example, big spoiler I'm going to tell you, Jack has a huge spoiler where he fixes his wife. And this is an old episode, right? And being a good doctor, the main purpose is about being a good doctor, right? Compared to his father, was an alcoholic. The main plot of this flashback is you meet a guy named Desmond in the end. So you meet this guy called Desmond, and They're gonna be on the island. That's the most important part. Fuck his wife, because his wife, we don't hear about her. And it's not clear because he's flirting with Kate. He's like, I'm not sure. By the way, we just saw some development with Kate, and fuck, she's my favorite character. So we got Charlie. Charlie, who was in a plane ride, so we see him snorting heroin. Now, what is kind of cool is we're done. This episode to me, it's a bit of a boring, but a bit of an important. So most of the episode, the first episode was what? Because this is pilot number 2, which is directly related to pilot number 1. Technically speaking, every single episode of Lost is important. Why? Because they're all part of the plot, right? You would take a show like The Office. The Office, you would have certain linear event, but most of it are at the end of the episode. This is not going to be talked about. Lost is following a script. So now in episode number 2, we get really, we get a, like, how can I say that? How can I say this? An aftermath. Now, there's some great things and some bad things. You see people are still relaxing. For example, Shannon. Shannon, I fucking hate Shannon. I like Brune, but I don't like Shannon. Shannon is a top model. She thinks that she's a shit. Yesterday we watched season 2, so I know her backstory. I was supposed to feel bad about her. No, I don't feel bad about her. You're useless. However, a relationship around the cast member and the show is actually pretty cool. So, we're seeing more of Walt and Michael. Now, Walt and Michael actually serve a purpose that is quite important here. Walt and Michael are father and son. So, Lost is it's inquintessential in a sense of, yes, we're surviving together. Yes, we're on this island together. Yes, we're gonna become friends, or I won't like you, right? No matter what, we're gonna spend so much time together that I'll feel a type of way about you or not. Walt and Michael, or Michael and Walt, father and son, are representatives of, we already have a link. So see, the craziest thing, the absolutely craziest thing is they all met in a plane crash, which is the island. Nobody really knew each other. Nobody really knew each other in the beginning, except for 4 people. Michael and Walt, father and son. Boone and Shannon, which are brothers and sister. That is it. Well, that's not true. There's Kate and the police officer, but the police officer isn't part of the story. Isn't part of the story at all. And to me, this is kind of nice because Walt and Michael, you would think that, oh guys, their father and son are gonna be super close, but the relationship is strange. We learned that Michael wasn't really present for his son's life because his mom was like, yo, this is my son too, and I can take better care of him than you. So there's a relationship, and it's super cool because, like, we're stuck on a line together. We have to work it out. And why is that important? Well, because you could perceived that they have a relationship, but they don't. So fuck your assumption. Fuck your assumption. So now we got a battle between Jack and Sawyer. The battle between Jack and Sawyer is actually quite important. Quite important. So this is really well made. So and again, the coolest thing that I did today was nothing. So we did the video yesterday, so I remember how it goes, which is a blessing. Sawyer and Jack fighting is super important. Why? Because Jack is, again, the authoritative figure. There's a hierarchy. Jack sits at the top. For example, Jack could say to someone, yo, give me a meal. The person would give them a meal. Would be like, okay, what do you want? Sawyer would like, yo, give me a meal. They would be like, fuck you, Sawyer. So you understand what I mean? So Sawyer is seen as the bad guy, and Jack is seen as the good guy. Now, it's kind of weird because we're on an island and nobody is needed, right? So yeah. But again, Sawyer, we were talking about Walking Dead yesterday. Sawyer would be Negan. Negan was a good character in the end, you know? So they fight. Now, this is the coolest thing. They find a pair of handcuffs. So they know one of them is a criminal. Now, there's 2 main people, and this is the craziest fucking part. And I think this image sums it up perfectly. So they find a pair of handcuffs and say, yo, one of us is a criminal. So one of us is a criminal. there's no justice system on the island. However, if I know that you are a criminal in real life, I'm gonna be wary of you, right? Now, there's two main suspects. The first suspect is Saeed, sadly because of his culture, because of his race, because again what I said yesterday, which is holy shit, I got you. I'm good as fuck, dude. Call me the expert mosquito killer. Saeed, like I said, it was close to the 2008, the 9/11, right? But in the scene, you kind of see that people kind of like Saeed. People kind of like Saeed. Saeed is a tragic character. Saeed, I fucking love Saeed. Saeed is a sad character because he does a lot for his crew. Out of importance, I would say, in the very beginning of season one, the two main character or possibly Saeed and Jack. Jack being a doctor is super useful, but Saeed, he knows how to fix a radio, he knows how to fight, he's a good survivor. So Saeed is important. Sawyer, which is the other culprit, or the other suspect, is a complete asshole. He's proven on his time, on the island that he was a bad guy. And he was a bad guy because he stole from Body, and now he's having his stash, right? Now, this is number one. We didn't learn, spoiler, that the criminal is Kate. Now, Kate in itself kind of is a cop out. That's a pun, right? She is the criminal, and is a kind of a cop out. Why? Because Kate is the criminal. That is not really a criminal. She's not like, oh, I didn't do it to be a criminal. I had nothing to do it. Does my reason justify what I did? That's up to you to decide. I'm not gonna point you guys in a direction. Do it justify? That's a tough question. I think I'm only at season 2. I don't know a lot about it. Do I think Kate is a criminal? I think Kate is a good person. I think Kate is a very noble person. I think Kate is very capable of being helpful. I feel Kate has a big heart. And I feel like Kate, if circumstances were different, would be a model citizen. However, I have to be honest. Kate, when you see her backstory, she did crime after crime after crime. How many crimes can you commit before we start thinking like, yo, you're not a victim of the circumstances, you're the circumstances, right? Take a dog. And I'm not comparing Kate to a dog. But take a dog, and the dog, he bit you. Oh, I was nervous, he bit me. Then the dog bit you a second time. Oh, okay, you know what? Maybe I'll play too rough with him. Then the dog bites you a third time. And you're starting to say, this dog bites a lot. Maybe I'm not to blame, you know? So this is what we're experiencing with Kate. Yeah. So Saeed has got the and the craziest thing is that Sawyer, kind of being an asshole, is the one that points out, yo, I bet you Saeed is a terrorist, right? Which is not true. Well, I'm not gonna say it, but Sawyer could have said that just to push out the doubt out of him. Now, why is that cool? It's cool because Sawyer said that to take out he's an asshole since he said that. But then a lot of people were thinking it. So Sawyer said out loud what people were thinking down low. Oh shit, too hot. Too hot. Oh, pinch my freaking. Yeah, it's hot today, so both phones are gonna be steaming. Cause everywhere that I go, every surgeon I go, every stuck in my bone, I'm untouchable. Every stuck in my name, built you away. Pull the pin, I explode. I'm untouchable. You cannot ignore the prices we pay, but I have the right to my own fate. You reach what you sow. We don't bleed the same, but I have the right to my own fate. What I'm doing right now, super simple, bros. We're deleting some content that we just uploaded. So this by Farm 21. I think you're the second one. Bergerac Lepage. There you go. Found it. I know it's not a case because I can't keep. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna write down Bergerac Lepage. Because we have to upload because our phone is trying to get full. It's a constant struggle. Belle journée avec le père, juillet 2025. Yeah. Everywhere that I go, are you hot? You're kind of hot, and you're kind of not cold, so I don't know how you're gonna be helpful with cooling down our devices. So yeah, so you're saying it out loud, let people talk out low. Kind of like a dick move, but then again, like, okay, well, who else thinks that? You know? So it's kind of nice. Now, we see Kate. Kate, by the way, I was talking about the Korean lady. Her name is Sun. Kate and Saeed goes in. Now, Kate and Saeed being close is actually quite important. So see, there's a, it's complex. It's complex. It's actually really complex. In my book, Jack being a leader, he has to be non-biased. He has to be like, okay, well, guess what? Until proven guilty, everybody is innocent. Kate is sort of the closest to Jack. Now, this serves as two purposes. The first purpose is Kate being closer to Jack, meaning that if Kate likes you, Jack likes you, right? One. Also, because Kate is so important in the story, you don't have the approval of Jack. You have the approval of Kate. Is that enough? That could be enough. You know what I mean? So this is actually quite nice. So Saeed being there, and also Saeed in this one, he's saying how much he wants to help. That's actually quite important. So now we have Kate, and Kate in this sense is actually so fucking nice because she goes to Jack and say, hey, what are we gonna do? So she said what she's gonna do, thinking that Jack thinks it's Sawyer or Saeed, which he does. And then he thinks that it's Sawyer though. He thinks because Sawyer's an asshole. And then I thought it was such an important scene because at this point, the viewer does not know if Kate is a criminal. We don't know that. We have no clue. Kate, at the same time, I'm gonna give you guys a big spoiler. The police officer that is with Kate, kind of like a dirtbag. He's kind of like an asshole. So because he's kind of like an asshole, it kind of enumerates Kate. You know she's a criminal. Oh my god, she's such a criminal. She's so dangerous. No, the police officer that was with you was an asshole. It's because the police officer that was with you is an asshole. Then does that make you a nice person? Now that's the question. That is the question. And surprise, I don't know the fucking answer. I do not know the fucking answer to this question. I know a lot of questions, but I don't know the answer to this one. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Kate being there, she goes to Jack. Like, how do you feel about it? Now, I thought it was pretty nice because we literally learned that Kate, you're too hot. Fuck you, dude. I'll be right back, guys. Oh, shit, la merde. Because you can film this in about 20 minutes. I'm gonna be gone for TikTok Live. I know it's not a phase, but I have been. Okay. There you go, we got the pie. We got the meat pie. So, the question of Kate isn't so much what are gonna do with Sawyer and Saeed. It's more so the question of what would you gonna do with the criminal, which she is. Now, she's smart because, for example, Jackie said, well, they were a criminal in real life, they're a criminal here. You could have said, okay, I need to keep the secrets. However, Jackie's gonna learn the secrets and be chill about it. I actually really like that. And it kind of showed that Kate is morally questionable. Also, there's a problem. We found a radio, and Saeed is the one that's in charge of it. See, the biggest question here is if Saeed, because again, you have to think that we all know that Kate is the villain or the criminal. So if Saeed is the criminal, we need him because we have batteries, we have a radio, and he's the only one that knows how it works. He said the battery won't last. They have to go somewhere, so they need Saeed. If Saeed is a criminal, they need a lot of people to get there. However, if Sawyer is a criminal, see, that's the thing. They're still in a case where most people are not. They're still in a case of most people aren't useful. See, it's complex because this is the second episode, so they still think they're gonna get rescued. They still think that, yo, I don't need everybody. Me, Kate, Saeed is gonna be enough, right? However, because we know that we're gonna be stuck here, people are like, yo, you kind of need to be useful. Be useful. We need you. In this case, the amount of people that we need is low. The amount of people we can trust, we can count on, is low. Sawyer stays on the beach. Saeed is there. So if Sawyer is the bad guy, then we need to take him out. If Saeed is the bad guy, we're gonna need people on both places that we trust, and they don't have that because basically there's only two people, which is Jack and Kate. Charlie helped, but then Charlie helps in a bad way. Charlie helps because he was looking for his drugs. So now we have Jean and Sun, which I gotta say are amazing. I'm watching more and more of season 2, and I gotta say Jin, which I didn't dislike but I didn't like, is doing so freaking good. I love that character. So Sun and Jin they're having a problem. Now this scene in particular is absolutely insane. It's very, 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 very complex. Why? Because the conversation between Jin and Saeed is like Jin and Sun, is like, yo, we need to kind of go with the other groups. It's like Jin's like, no, we don't need to. We don't fucking need to. We're gonna take care of each other. I think Sun believes they're not gonna be saved, and I think Jin's think they're gonna be saved. However, action speaks louder than word. In this one, Jin, whose father was a fisherman in Korea, not his real father, is an act. The character, not his real father in real life. Prepares some sea urchin, and he prepares it. And this is his way of helping out. See, this is also a very guilty system of the beginning of Lost. It's not, hey, are you useful? It's, we don't fucking need you. You can be the most useful person, we don't need you. Jin is like, okay, I know that you don't need me, but I want to help. And then Hugo comes in and says, hey, I don't want it. So this is a bad moment. This is a bad moment in itself. So Jin comes in with a sea urchin, almost as to say, hey, I can help you. I'm a good fisherman. I can help. And the first person he talked to is Hugo, and Hugo's like, fuck no. This looks disgusting. Now, to defend Hugo, Hugo still think that we're gonna get saved, right? And Jin will take this as a... They don't want her help, they don't want to be friend with us. So this is a bit of a problem. We got Walt and Michael. Now, Walt and Michael is actually hard to watch. Actually really hard to watch. Because... why is it so hard to watch? Because Michael and Walt are a father and son that don't get along. So every single time they're like, fuck. I wish they went along, right? And at first, Walt seemed like a fucking shitty child. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Lost did a mistake. Lost didn't really explain in the beginning that Walt was the son of Michael, but Michael didn't raise him. So Walt just seemed to be mad at Michael for no reason. Then you later learn that, okay, well, they just met. They just started to have a relationship. So basically, spoiler, what happened is the mother of Walt dies. And then she lives in Sydney. And then what they're doing is Sydney to Los Angeles. So Michael is like, yo, I'm going to be taking care of you from now on. So between the fact that Michael comes in and says, yo, I'll take care of you, there is this, we don't know that they're not close. They basically just met. So the reason as to why Walt is so disrespectful, because he doesn't fucking know Michael. So it makes sense, but they don't show you that. So they're having, Walt is completely disinterested by it. Walt also have a huge problem. He lost his dog, which is Vincent. Vincent as a dog is not super important. However, it's kind of like a cool relief.